Morning everyone, how's it going? My name is Russell Wolf. I'm one of the lead surf instructors and water safety coordinators with the Jimmy Miller Foundation.
Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Tyus Miller. I'm one of the lead safety coordinators / surf instructors down here.
And today we're going to be showing you what you can do to become a surf instructor with us. It's a really amazing opportunity to get to share your love of the ocean with someone else who hasn't had the opportunity to experience the ocean. It's honestly not very hard. Mostly you just need a good attitude and the ability to catch a whitewash wave.
And today we're going to go over a couple tips and tricks to show you how to be a good surf instructor.
When we get down to the beach, we always have a lead instructor, Tyus or I or one of our other staff. We'll be doing the actual surf lesson on the beach, so they're going to show how to do the pop-up, how to paddle out, the basic mechanics of getting over waves. And what your job is as the instructor is to take them out there and to really be there, like refining any little mistakes they make as they're surfing. Maybe they need to bend their knees more, or they were looking down at their feet. There's usually one or two kind of common problems people have when trying to stand up, and then you want to address those problems and help them work through that. But more than anything, it's like you're giving them high fives when they fall, you're cheering for them, and it's more so about being a friend and a support system and just so many high fives. You know, if they don't stand up on a wave, that doesn't mean they're gonna have a bad time. They could have the best day ever and never stand up, and you just keep giving them high fives for wiping out and trying again. And maybe that's the lesson they take away that day. So the focus should really be like spending time with the person, getting to know them and supporting them. And the riding waves come second. We're gonna go into the kind of the technical aspects of how you teach someone to ride a wave, but in my opinion, what's much more important is how you interact with this person and create a safe space for them to learn to surf, which is a scary, challenging, frightening thing and an uncontrollable, wild, natural element. So it's really important that you have that trust. So I'll pass it back over to Tyus.
So the first and foremost thing you're going to do is introduce yourself to an athlete. And what you're going to want to do is kind of create a connection where you're getting the vibe. Are they feeling nervous, feeling anxious? Maybe you want to lighten the conversation, where did they go over summer, etc., etc. But then this is an opportunity to educate people on how to harness this resource we call the ocean to have a good time. And again, we've been doing this for a while, but to another person who has never been introduced to this before, this could be their very first introduction. So we want to start with the basics and kind of get the vibe with them. Are they nervous? Are they anxious? Are they excited? And we just want to help direct that energy into a positive time. Whether it's riding the waves, playing in the sand, even just swimming, it's all about having a really good time out there and showing them that this is a playground that we want to introduce to others.
So the first most important thing about being a surf instructor with the Jimmy Miller Foundation is to take off your glasses when you're talking to your participants so that you can create that connection by looking with them eye to eye. And that's really our first point here, is that you want to build a connection with your athlete or the person you're teaching to surf. So as soon as you get down to the beach, look for someone who's a participant, go talk to them, introduce yourself, make friends, get to know them on a personal level. Before you even get in the water, you want to start building that trust and being a friendly, kind of open person who they feel comfortable talking to.
Some of the things that we could talk about is what to anticipate while getting into the water, because a lot of people get afraid when they don't know what they're about to get into. So when you're with your athlete, be looking for patterns in the water. Is the water ripply? Is it a rip current? Is there white bubbles? Is it a sandbar?
So the first thing I like to do with every session is to give our athletes, our participants, kind of the surf report of the day. Is the tide high? Is it low? Is it getting higher? Is it getting lower? Is the swell big? Is it small? And then using that kind of assessment to describe the conditions. Once we have that surf report, we kind of tell them it's low tide, we're expecting the surf to be this size, the biggest ones are this big, the smallest ones are this big. If it's higher tide, we might be closer in, getting some little rolling waves, or maybe we're just not going to surf at all because it's too high tide and too crazy, and we're going to body surf, and we're going to talk about how amazing it is to body surf. But you want to show them your knowledge of the surf conditions, teach them something about the surf conditions, and then use that to make an informed game plan so they know what they're about to get into. If they're just going to be swimming, if it's going to be knee deep the whole way out, if it's scary, then maybe you tell them it's kind of scary and we're just going to keep it chill and just enjoy the beach. Or maybe you're going to say, it's not scary at all, we're going to go for it, it's going to be amazing. And just to let them know, kind of set the expectations for the day so they know what is going to happen as it's happening. So you want to just give them as much information to empower them as possible. As far as being a surf instructor, that's one of the things that we want in a good instructor, is that they can come and they can see there's a sandbar here, there's a riptide there. We're gonna wanna surf here. Once we hit that riptide, we need to come in and walk back to the sandbar. Those decisions are being made by the water safety coordinators like Tyus or I. So it's not entirely their responsibility, but the more that they can understand these patterns, the better instructor they're gonna be, the better waves they're gonna get, and the more likely they are to move up in the ranks and become someday an ocean safety coordinator like myself.
First off, every time that your participant is getting on the board, make sure they're at that sweet spot, they're at a good place, they're comfortable, they're not freaking out, they're having a good time. Let's say if our athlete were to be laying on the front, guess what they're gonna do? They're probably gonna pearl it. I don't ever wanna see anybody pearling it. There's no reason why someone should be pearling it when we're doing this properly. So first off, if we're trying to go for a wave and we're panicking and we just think we need to go for it now, let it go by. If it doesn't look like a good wave, let it go by. There's plenty of other waves. We want to make sure that they have a great time. So if we try to go into a wave like this, it's not going to work. So we're going to tell our athlete, hey Russell, I'm going to need you to shift your feet further to the back of the board. I want those tippy toes all the way to the rear. And again, whenever we're doing anything, we just want to encourage them for all their actions. Just to let them know, hey, you're doing a good job. Good job. That's looking good, Russell. Thank you. What I like to do is I like to tell them what we're about to do. Okay, I'm gonna turn you around. I want you to be looking into the shore. On the count of 3, I'm gonna tell you when to pop up, or whatever the case may be. But communication is really essential, because if this individual's never surfed before, they have no idea what they're about to get into. So we wanna make sure that they're feeling safe, confident, and comfortable. So once we get into that wave, let's say, for example, I can just see all the water sucking out underneath and it's just dry sand. Well, guess what? It's probably not gonna be a fun time. So we're just gonna turn around, let them know, hey, oh, sorry, that wasn't a good wave. We'll go for the next one, don't worry about it. And then we'll continue on with further instructions. Here at the Jimmy Miller, at least the first couple waves, we're gonna be holding on to the rear of that surfboard, and there's a couple reasons why. One, we're gonna help them taste success, but later on, if they're doing very well, then we're gonna allow them to ride the wave by themselves. But the first couple waves, we're gonna be on the back boogie boarding it essentially. So hands, me personally, I'm about here on the board, and this is where it comes from experience, knowing when to contract or extend your body weight. Sometimes you can flutter kick if you have to, but what this is gonna do is, one, you're helping controlling the direction so you're not running over anyone else, but also if you feel the board starting to pitch or pearl, you can apply more weight or less weight accordingly. And also from this positioning, a lot of the times they can't hear you, so you gotta really yell. So what I like to do, all right, Russell, we're gonna be getting pushed into this wave. I want you to stand up on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, pop it up! And then you can go ahead and give any corrections. Get that lead foot in the middle. And then what a lot of people will be doing is yelling and cheering at them, and then all of a sudden he'll look up and yeah, good posturing, Russell. Now, if I feel like, okay, they got this wave, it's close as clear, I'll let them know, all right, I'm letting go. And then letting go from that board accordingly. I just making sure that they're having a good time while being safe.
So now we're gonna go over the pop-up. I generally teach 3 different pop-ups, all depending on skill level, and I like to give the option for our athletes to kind of choose whichever one they feel suits them best. And so starting at the most kind of advanced or requiring the most mobility pop-up is kind of just jumping to your feet basically. Step 1 is always the same. Step 1 is this cobra stretch. This gets the head up and allows room for the feet to come through. And it'll help you not nosedive. So you're gonna cobra up, and then from here you're really just kind of jumping to your feet. When I do it, I think I'm in the air for a second there. I'm almost like in a handstand. You gotta be pretty quick to pop up that way, but it is nice because your feet go right to where they need to go. It's quick, and hopefully the board doesn't move too much. The next way you can teach a pop-up is you do this cobra, and then you're gonna go back foot, front foot, and then you're up. That's nice if maybe your back's a little stiff, right? It doesn't require too much upper body movement. And maybe if you're not feeling as explosive, you can still smoothly pop up quickly. The third, and probably the easiest way, but not necessarily the right way to teach a pop-up, is to go to your knees. You really don't want to form a habit of riding waves on your knees, but maybe this person has never surfed before and the conditions are hard, and you want them to just ride a wave. And it doesn't really matter if they stand up or not, you just want them to get a wave. and feel the feeling. So with people like that, or maybe they just want to go slow, you can do that same first step, Cobra. And then the most important thing for a knee pop-up is slide your knees to the middle. If you were to just be here and go to your knees, you end up way back here and you'll lose the wave. So you're here, Cobra, knees to the middle, and then once you're in the middle, you're gonna go front foot, back foot, and surf. I actually often recommend with people who are really, really nervous, wave 1, no pop-up, just lay there. Wave 2, knees. Ride it on your knees. You know, if you're on your knees and you're like maybe feeling a little wild, you know, you like take the hands off, you maybe come up here a little, that can be a nice way for a lot of people to kind of like feel like they're free a little but still have that security to come back and grab the board. That can be a transition. For some people that might take 5 waves, you know, inching inch by inch. Every wave they're getting a little bit higher up to wave 5. This might be the greatest moment of their life, you know, just on their knees, free as a bird. Oh, we have one bonus pop-up. This one is maybe the most advanced, and it honestly sometimes really hurts, but you gotta do it. You do the Cobra, and you go straight to butt board. And then from here you can drive your car, you can do the patented butt board nose ride, which is an advanced maneuver, and overall just a great time. I think it's important to remind people that surfing doesn't need to be serious, and as long as you're having fun, you're doing it right. So I love surfing like that. You can't fall. I already fell, I'm already on the ground. There's nowhere to go. Pretty good move.